Everybody. So it got a little chillier again today. We don't have quite the warm weather that we had yesterday, but it is still a very nice sunny day, and I'd say probably about 85% of the snow has melted. So that's all a good thing. So tonight we have our book club, Gap in the Gain, or I'm sorry, it's not Gap in the Gain. It's You Are a Badass. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. So that is tonight. If you want to join, just shoot me a quick message. It's not too late. We're not that far into it, so you still have plenty of time. So today I want to talk about, more about mindset when it comes to your health and wellness, and how to really make sure that you're getting to the place that you want to be. So when we think about it, there isn't really an end game to health. It's not like, oh, I arrived, I've achieved this. The world that we live in, it's not really something that's that black and white, right? Because we're constantly, faced with stresses and traumas and contaminations and all kinds of things. So there isn't really that point where we're like, yep, that's good enough. Because it's a constant work in progress. It isn't something that we just turn on or off. Does that make sense? So, we've been programmed in life to always look for that end, right? The completion, the certificate, the diploma, the ceremony, right? The championship. But what if your health was this unlimited cup of potential that we could just fill and fill and fill and fill, right? Like the sky's the limit. There is no end game here. We just wrapped up, before this book club, we wrapped up one on the Gap in the Gain. And that was really good. And they talked a lot in that book about starting your day the night before. What if we could start setting our intention for the day the night before, and to get our head in the game and start focusing those efforts a little earlier on. A lot of times we wake up and we feel as if we're already behind the 8 ball. Like the second that we get up. Do you ever feel that way? I know I used to feel that way all the time. You wake up and you're already 10 steps behind where you wanted to be, or you just can't wrap your head around taking any steps that day in some cases. So it's a very real feeling. Okay, it happens to lots of us all the time. So when we think about setting it up the night before, some questions that are helpful. So I have my journaling set up to, let me get one of my pages up here. So when I start it the night before, my end of the day, so I have my journaling broken down into sections of the day. So for the end of the day, there's a reflection time. So I was successful today when, okay? So that's celebrating what you achieved that day based on hopefully the intentions that you set in the morning or the night before, if you're getting it in then. And then how will I be successful tomorrow? So, and this was just a template that I made myself that I loaded into my journal. So, what are 3 ways that I'll be successful tomorrow? Any growth opportunities that I saw throughout the day. So in the past way I would perceive it was all the things that went wrong in that day. And okay, well, something didn't go as planned or didn't go the way I expected it. How could I have done it differently next time? I don't believe that we're necessarily victims of things. Like, I believe that we have choice in everything. And if I chose to invest my time in a certain way that day, it doesn't mean that there isn't opportunity to improve on that or to fine tune it in a way that leads me closer to where I want to be. So those are the growth opportunities. So it's very different from, oh shit, I didn't get done today, or that I didn't accomplish or didn't do the way I wanted to, or that didn't get done the way I wanted them to what are my growth opportunities from today? What did I find? What areas did I find that I could grow in today? So, and this is great to apply to your health too. So instead of, well, I just ate like crap today, So we're just going to throw in the towel and I'm just going to eat crap again tomorrow because I already screwed it up. As opposed, it's very different than looking at it as what are my areas of growth? Okay, well, this is where I stumbled, where I didn't meet the goals that I had set for myself. So how can I change that? How can I do it differently? How can I put myself in a different situation, change the circumstance, any of these things, okay? So that I can show up differently tomorrow. So that's really important. And then, in my evening routine, and then ask the question of your subconscious. So what problem do I want to solve? So that's from that Thomas Edison book, right? Never go to bed without asking a question of your subconscious, because we do a lot of our subconscious cleaning up and programming and that type of thing when we're sleeping. It's always great to ask something like that the night before, because then when you wake up the next morning, that tends to be your most creative time of the day, believe it or not. And if you're waking up clear-headed with a clear mind, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So a lot of times those answers will come to you when you wake up in the morning. So this is one of the ways that you can utilize that time. So, and when we talk about what are my successes going to be for the next day, we get to define that. And it doesn't always have to be a Mount Everest. If you train your brain to always look for Mount Everest or always look for something that's harder, I can only celebrate hard things, your brain's going to look to make everything hard, okay? So it's going to look for all the Mount Everest in life, and that's, well, why are things always so challenging? Why is life so hard? Why are things so difficult? How come every day is X, Y, Z? Well, maybe that's what you trained your brain to look for, but you can retrain that, okay? So that's really important to be aware and to understand. So, think about it. What if what you want could be easy? What if eating healthy could be easy? There's a lot of people that do find it easy. So what's the secret? What's the difference? What are the changes that I could make? What reprogramming do I have to do to get to that place? Because it's not impossible, because people do it. So how can I get myself there? What are the roadblocks that are standing in my way, and how do I overcome them? Okay. So some things that's a question that you could ask. Another one could be, well, what if healing and health and losing weight and eating better wasn't hard? What if? What would happen? What if it was just a different set of skills? So what skills would I need to develop to get myself to that place? When you think about things like eating healthy food, eating green beans isn't hard, right? It's not literally hard. Let's be honest. It's just different. It might be different from what you're used to. It might be different from how you used to spend your time. It might be different from what you used to eat. It might be different from how you showed up before, but it's not hard, or it doesn't have to be hard. And it's certainly not impossible because people do it. So, if you really let yourself go there, you could even find that eating healthy is even easier. It's pretty simple when you break it down. It doesn't have to be something that's complicated. If you enjoy cooking and you like lots of ingredients and you find joy in that, you can certainly make it more challenging, but it doesn't have to be. If it's something that you truly want, you can make it just as simple as what you're doing now. Okay. The reason what you're doing now is simple is because it's what you've always done. It's because it's subconscious. It's because it's auto programmed. Right? So what if we could make eating healthy an auto program? What if we could make eating healthy something that happens so regularly that now it has become simple? Okay. So, those little mindset shifts really help, and they go a long way. When your kids were little, remind me of, all the energy that they put out into avoiding a particular task, like let's say cleaning their room, right? And it's like, you think about it and, you look at them and you're like, or doing their homework, and you're like, you know what, all the time and all the effort that you put into not doing this, you could have just had it done a long time ago, and sometimes these healthy habits or healthy lifestyles or healthy food or what have you is the same exact way. It's getting around the mental roadblock. It's being able to wrap our head around it. So figure out what's preventing you from wrapping your head around it, work on those things, heal them, retrain your subconscious, whatever it is, and then you'll find that you'll start getting a different result. So it's kind of like, vision board. You have this big image of what you want, right? And I love vision boards. I think that it was something that I started, and I would do that. I would just make, the images. But I was missing in the beginning that vital component where I created a plan and what actions, go into play here, and what resources do I need to gather to really complete that? Because without those things, that vision board is just a wish list, right? Is your health just a wish list, or is it something that you're consciously creating? And it's not consciously creating in the sense that you're going to one day arrive to this end and be done, and you're not going to have to work on it anymore, and you're not going to have to eat green beans anymore. It's, doing it in a way that each day you're going to find ways to improve and improve and improve and improve and strengthen and grow and strengthen and grow, okay? So it's just a different perspective. It's a different way of looking at it. And I think that, if you're finding areas where you're challenged and making some of these adjustments or some of these changes, try it. Try swapping out some of these words that you're using. Try looking at it in a little bit of a different way. And most importantly, let's start being a little more honest with ourselves, because sometimes that's the case. We make it sound hard so that, one, we have a really good reason not to do it, right? Or two, because we've trained our brain to only look for hard things, or we can only celebrate hard things, or we're only valuable if we've accomplished something hard. So start celebrating the small stuff. These successes that we're looking at the night before, that we're journaling out or reflecting on, or they don't have to be hard things. It could be something just, I'm going to show up to work with a smile on my face. It could start with the simple things, or maybe do one simple thing and two, one simple, one medium, and one hard. You could, what you're capable of. So maybe that would be a good approach. So let's just give it a try. Let's get started. So if you're not planning the night before, at least start setting your intention for the day of. And then this way at night you can reflect and say, okay, these are my successes, and make sure you're putting the word "or" after them too. Like, let's say, for example, my successes for this morning were to exercise, or I'll be successful when I eat a good healthy lunch that fuels my body and fuels my heart and feeds all of my organs, okay? Or I complete my bedtime routine, okay? So if you put "or" after it, then you can celebrate each of those things individually, where if it's, okay, I'll be successful today when I exercise, when I eat a healthy meal for lunch that really fuels and feeds my body, and I complete my nighttime routine. If you connect all those words with "and", then that tells your brain, okay, I have to do all three of these things to be successful. So what if you did 2 out of the 3? You're not successful then. Okay, so where if you put the word "or" after each one, I'll be successful today when I this, or when I this, and then at the end of the night, do you get to celebrate 1 success? Do you get to celebrate 2 successes? Or do you get to celebrate all 3 successes? Okay. So it's not only does it help build our confidence, it helps, and when we build our confidence in something, it's like, hey, I can do this. When you're confident in something, you don't perceive it as hard. Things that I'm confident in doing, I find it's because I find them easy to do, right? So if we switch that thought process and we start building our confidence, it's like, you know what, I can do this. I think I might be able to do that too. Let's try for tomorrow. Okay, so you see, it's a very different mindset. You might find it helpful. So this is this is the last time we'll be live this week until Sunday night. We'll be live on the Facebook page. We have a little surprise interview for you guys. And then we'll be back again next week. So I hope to see you all then.